I'm spending my whole weekend in my pajamas. The whole thing for me is I'm trying to save you time, money, and energy. I have got a PhD in life. So, like, what do I care what some random person on the internet thinks of me? In New Year, new me, you gotta have some fun. God, Tim, everything you touch just, like, is amazing. And I want to tell that person, no, it's not. I'm only trying to make one person happy, and that's Tim Castleman. But a little water, a little ibuprofen, we're back in the game. We're ready to do the giveaway day, which is what you're ready to hear about, which is what I'm ready to talk about right now. So, I wake up with a wild idea. We got 2 suitcases full of stuff. 2 checked suitcases full of stuff. Mine was 46 pounds, I think. Chase's was like 30 pounds. So we'll call that 80 by U.S. math, right? 80 pounds of stuff. But I had an idea. I thought, you know what? What if we not only brought them these supplies, but what if we brought them some food? What if we went to one of the food carts and we just bought the place out? You'll see a video where a guy will, like, I've seen a dude that did it where he bought all the flowers from a flower lady. And he was like, look, I'm going to buy them all, but I want you to give them all away. And then once you're done with that, you're done for the day type thing. And she was like, yeah, totally. So that's kind of what I envision in my head. Hey, help support the local business, right? Buy his cart out of supplies and just be like, give it to everyone that needs it. So I tell Chase this idea over breakfast, and he loves it. And, you know, I can't say thank you enough to him for being willing to go on this crazy adventure with me and being willing to pony up half the dough for everything. And when I come to him, I go, hey, I got this crazy idea. He's not like, are you out of your mind? He's like, yeah, let's do it. So we got to get a guy to get all our crap with, you know, in our 80 pounds of stuff. Then we got to go do that. We don't know how to do it, but we're like, you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll go downtown to Old Havana and we'll be good there. So we get in the La Nava, the taxi guy. It's his own private vehicle. And we tell him what we want to do is he's driving us down there. And he's like, okay, yeah, all right. And he goes, well, let's not do that. And I was like, oh, fuck, here we go, party pooper. It's like, no, it's fine. We have the money for it. You know, it's not a concern there. It's just like, this is what we want to do. And he goes, if you go and try and buy a cart down in the touristy area of Old Havana, which is where we were going, basically. It's all touristy, you know. Basically, Old Havana is where they put you down and all the pariahs come out and they, you know, you get the Mexican QVC, as I lovingly refer to it as. If you do that, the cart is going to be the most expensive. And we're like, dude, did you not hear? We bought $200 worth of fake Cuban cigars. I shot some video yesterday. I'm an influencer. We're rich. Don't worry about it. And he's like, no, you're not listening. He's like, it'll be the most expensive food there. And I was like, yep. He's like, so food is food. And we can get food from anywhere that sells it and take it there. He goes, so what if we got someone else's cart that's not in the old touristy area? I'll take you to a different area where they're going to need the stuff, and we'll go do that. And we're like, I like that idea a lot better. So we agree with him. We're like, listen, dude, you know, take us there. Let's check it out. So we show up. We go to the cart. There's a lady buying some stuff. We're like, hey, keep your money. We're going to buy that because we're about to buy this whole fucking cart, lady. We're about to make it rain with mangoes and peppers and onions and whatever. And then we look at the cart. And friends, if I told you there were less than 300 flies on this cart, I mean, I think I'd be lying to you if I told you that. This cart was covered in flies. The produce, not that good looking. And then Chase goes, you know, man, the only people that are going to come to the cart are people that have money to come to the cart to buy something. If we're trying to give food away, we got to find people that aren't coming to the cart. And that's when our Uber driver says, well, you know, we could just go to a market that sells the stuff, buy it from there, and then bring it down here. And we're like, you know what? You live here. You know the systems. Yeah, let's do that. So we go, we find a place. He finds a place for us out of the touristy area, local little market that has shit for sale. And we're like, this is awesome. This is great. So we're like, well, we're not sure what it's going to be, the price and the cost. And, mangoes are 60 cents a pound. Bananas are $1, for a bushel. This is 40 cents a thing and all that stuff. So we just go up to them. We just go, hey, we need 10 bags. You go ahead and give us 10 racks. Thanks. We'll take those 10 bags. And we just start filling them up. Peppers, onions, garlic, mango, bananas, some other fruit I can't remember. And we're bag after bag after bag after bag after bag. Now, while this is going on, me and Chase also connect, and we're like, dude, this guy that we got, sent from the big man upstairs, this driver's amazing. We just need to tell him, hey, you know what? We'll pay you the day rate, your day rate, and you just come hang with us all day and make sure that we get this done. So we tell him that. He's like, yep, that's fine. That's great. We don't even discuss what the day rate is. We know. I mean, this guy's not leaving with less than a C note for his efforts. So we pack up bag after bag after bag after bag after bag. In the meantime, people are trying to check out. We're like, nope, we're paying for them. Check them out. Put us on our tab. Put us on our tab. Blah, blah, blah. So we get the first run done. We get, 75 pounds worth of groceries for $44. And I'm like, wow, look at all those bags. And then we all kind of look at each other and we're like, not enough. So we go back in, double it. We say, everything we just got? Yeah, times 2. While this is going on, unbeknownst to me, not a problem, of course. My buddy Chase Powell is just like, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag. If you were above the age of 12, he was trying to pay your bill. And everybody appreciated it, thanked us profusely. That was awesome. One guy said no because he was a younger guy and basically was like, I have the money for this. Like, it's great that you're doing this. Give it to someone who really needs it. Which, I thought that was kind of cool of him to do. So we buy even more. And I think we spend $100 there to get 150 pounds worth of groceries, all fruits, some rice, some different stuff like that. And the other thing is like, hey, man, who are we going to give this out to? And our taxi guy goes, hey, we'll see the need. If we see an old person, if we see someone digging through trash, we'll know when to give it out. We're like, oh, okay, great. So we find a park. We make all these little bags of the stuff we're going to give away as far as the food. We give one bag away to a kid who's like, oh, this is cool. And we gave him a ball. And then we gave it to another guy in the park. And he was like, what the fuck is this? Who are you? What? Okay, thanks. I guess I'll take it. I did a terrible job. This is looking forward to the next one because hopefully there will be another one. I did a terrible job of I need to be able to say, hi, my name's Tim. I'm from Texas. How are you today? Something like that. And then be like, I'd like to give you a bag of food, or can I help you out with a bag of food here? No cost, no obligation, no bullshit. Just something better than just jumping out of a car, walking up to someone and be like, here's a bag of food from a total stranger that hasn't even had the courtesy to introduce himself. So that was my bad. This was a learning experience, even for me, as these all will be. What do you mean even for me? It's going to be a learning experience every single freaking time. So we make these goodie bags and we go around. We see several people at bus stops. We stop. We give them the stuff. Thanks. 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 Then we're driving and we see this old man and no shirt on, healthy muscle tone, but, 80s, 70s, 80s, skinny man, skinny old man. You know what I'm talking about. And he's out there cleaning something. And when I walk up to him, his hands are coated in blue paint. Dry, coated. So I don't know. He must have been repainted. I don't know what this old man was doing, but he was doing it out in the heat of the day with no sun protection manually. And that's not okay. It's not that it's not okay. I mean, I get it. It is what it is. So I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, again, no intro or anything. I just try that and I'm like, hey, this grocery for you. He stands up, hunched over, old man stands up, right? I'm trying to be polite, respectful, AKA not cry at what I'm seeing. And he shakes my hand and then he pulls me in and he gives me a hug. And I was like, be strong, be strong. For longtime listeners of the podcast, tweaking the nipple super hard. Like, don't you dare shed a tear. Don't you dare fucking shed a tear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. We drive around. We see some kids that are playing baseball out in the street. And I'm like, holy shit, this is a Hallmark movie moment. This is exactly what I wanted to do. We get out, we give them new baseballs. We give coloring books. We give candy out. The crowd begins to build. We see kids at the next block. We give candy. We do the same thing. We're repeating it. You get a baseball. You get a baseball. You get this. You get that. The crowd's building with these kids who are basically following us, building block to block now because they want to try and get even more stuff, which, you got to respect the hustle. So I'm like, get us the fuck out of this neighborhood, right? The kids are on to us. Let's go find some people. So we're driving, and he takes a turn, and his car sputters. We make it to the intersection barely. And then we get out, we pull over, and we get out, and the second we stop, gas. You smell the gas. And you're like, oh, that's not good. So he shuts his vehicle off, and we go out, and by the passenger side, rear door, where I'm at, by the way, you can just see gas pouring out. And you're just like, well, that's fucking great. If anything were to happen, the fuse is on my side for it to go kaboom. That's awesome. So we push this thing into alleyway. This guy, who's already been amazing, pulls out a toolkit. He's got a whole thing. Throws down a little mat, and he goes to work. And this guy fucking MacGyvers this whole thing. Oh, that's got a hole in it. I got to patch it up here. That I need to crank here and not crank there. I need to put this and that. While he's doing this, by the way, I look over and I see a guy clearly homeless. He's got a pack full of cigarettes, but I think they were like, what he probably sells the tourist, buy a cigarette for $1, help me out or whatever. But this guy, rough, dirty clothes. I mean, he was in bad shape. So I grab a bag of the stuff while he's, MacGyvering the car back, give it to him. He's like, for me? Oh, thank you so much. So he fixes the car. Damn near gets run over twice, but everyone keeps an eye out when people are, when cars are, when we got out, one of the guys walking by was like, you have a gas leak. People just help out in that way, which I thought was super nice. Several instances where I was holding my phone out, and I had a girl come up to me and she goes, hey, don't hold your phone out that far away from you. Someone could try to come up and snatch it. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Another time we weren't paying attention, a guy honked at us, and a guy came up, he goes, hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything. He goes, you have to watch when they honk, you have to turn behind you or you'll get run over. It's like, oh, all very helpful. Thank you. So he gets the car fixed, and we continue. The supplies are dwindling down, and we take this corner, and as the same time we take this corner, just out of the corner of my eye, I see this little old lady just drop to the ground. And I'm like, oh, fuck, we've hit this bitch. Sorry. You fucking idiot. I see this little old lady, and I'm like, we hit that hoe. Oh, shit, we're fucked up. So I'm like, did we hit this lady? What has happened? Have the kids telephoned ahead and said, hey, the Americanos are coming, Yumas as they call us, The Yumas are coming with candies. Fall, Granny, and wait till we get there. So we get out. They're talking in Spanish. I would like to read it again. I don't know what's happening. They could be arranging a settlement. Our taxi driver, could be like, all right, Granny, here's how we're going to fleece them of all their money. I don't know what happens. So here's what happens. This old lady, who's in her 80s, is a retired school teacher. Every month, she gets 2,000 pesos. It's about $10 American currently, by the way, to live off of. To get that 2,000 pesos, she has to go to the bank. So when it's 89 degrees and 91% humidity, she has to leave her apartment and walk all the way down to where her bank is. And then stand in the heat for hours upon hours until she is allowed to go into the bank and get her money, $10 a month, and then walk all the way back to her apartment, which a significant portion of that is uphill. I had trouble on it, and I'm half, maybe even a quarter of her age. A third. She's 120. I don't know. So we insist with our Uber guy. We're like, hey, let's get her in the car. Let's get her home. Come back for us. He goes, Tim, problem. I don't know where the hell we are. So you got to get in the car with me and we'll just get her there. So we're like, fantastic. So we do that. We get her there. Now, I told you I'm an influencer, so I got to make an editorial decision. Because I'm filming a lot of this. Do I go up with her? I don't. I stay in the car. And I film her getting walked to her house by Chase and our angelic Uber driver. They come back about 5 minutes later. They walked her up several flights of stairs, got her in her apartment, put the groceries away. She wanted them to stay because her husband had passed away several years ago, and she has no one to talk to. I regret not going up there and capturing that woman's story and seeing where she lived and sit with tea and just have a chat. But I'm also glad I didn't see that in a way, because I'd still fucking be there being like, okay, Grandma, here's the deal. We're going to have to squinch you in this little carry-on bag. You're going to have to be real quiet, and you can be my abuela over in Lubbock. You can have my spare room, you know. All you have to do is get up in the morning, have your coffee, and watch your TV. You want the soap operas on? We'll do the soap operas with you, Granny. If you let it, that shit'll break your heart. So, we're almost done. It's 6 o'clock at night, and we still have a ton of supplies. And our guy goes, hey, one of my best friends is a pediatric nurse. Another one is a preschool teacher. I live next to a church. I've got all this, that, and other thing. What if you just give me your leftover supplies, which aren't that much, and then I distribute them for you? And I was like, oh, man, you don't have to do that. AKA, are you going to take these and sell them? Will these get to the rightful people? I don't know. I don't want people to be upset with me because we didn't personally hand out 100% of the goods. And he goes, oh, don't worry about it. We're going to go to my mom's house. You can meet my mom, drop all the stuff off there, and I'll send you videos of the people that I do give stuff to. I'm on the fence. Chase is like, dude, I'm done. We spent all day doing this. Like, I don't have any more energy to give. And I was like, okay, cool. All right. So we do it. And of course, this guy's a fucking saint. So I've gotten a ton of videos from him, giving away the stuff to people who are all very freaking thankful of it. Now, you may be going, Tim, why are you recording all of this? And I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The reason I'm recording it, and the reason I did record it, is simple. I want to take those videos, and I want to show people what it's like traveling to Cuba and my experience with Cuba, specifically around the giveaway. And my goal and hope is that somehow, some way, through the ether of the internet, these videos become attractive to those who are interested, and that people watch them. Maybe a few hundred, then a few thousand, then a few 100,000, then maybe a few million, who knows? But my whole goal is to get them popular enough to where we can start monetizing a YouTube channel doing these giveaways. And people contribute to these giveaways by simply watching the videos that give me the AdSense money or the money from Google or YouTube or whoever, right? Wherever the money is coming in from, and then all of that money is taken to do another giveaway. Think of Mr. Beast, but on a much smaller level. Entirely crowdfunded and sourced to go do these humanitarian acts all around the world. Cuba was great. I'll go do it again. I'll do it every month if I have to, if I'm allowed to, if the support is there. But I'm happy to go to Venezuela or Honduras or Nicaragua to do this. Colombia, do I need to make a drop in? So I struggle with, how do I share this message without, I think it's an unrealistic expectation, no matter what I try and do, that there's not going to be somebody that gets upset, outraged, offended by me sharing this story. So I think it's unrealistic for me to expect that, and it's unrealistic for me to plan for that, because it's just not going to happen. No matter what the intention is in my heart, the fact that I don't want to be on camera, I'm doing voiceovers, I want to be behind the scenes, I want to just, the whole goal here is to help. Someone's still going to have a problem with it. So the realistic thing is, do what I want to do in a way that I feel honors the people involved and the circumstance, the situation. And as long as I can say I've done that, then what happens, happens. And maybe that will be the little motivational kick in the ass I need to actually take the hours of video I shot and begin putting up really shitty YouTube videos of it until my editing improves. Lots of cool things happened on this trip. Lots of once-in-a-lifetime experiences. I get to have a week with my buddy Chase. I got hustled by one of the street guys a couple days later. Here I am yelling and being upset at Chase. And then a couple of days later, it happens to me. And I'm like, damn it. I guess we're all susceptible to believing the good in people. We met a saint of a human being that drove us around. Hold on one second. I'm going to drop his name because I don't want to. Adrian. Adrian. So Adrian, the amazing La Nava driver who drove us around and drove us to the airport the next day. And he was so thankful. That was the weird thing. He was like, I'm so grateful that you would let me be a part of this so I can tell people this story and how there are good people in this world. And I was like, Adrian, buddy, if we had met 2 days ago in a bar about 3 blocks away from the Airbnb that we were staying at, and I was on my 3rd watermelon water or my 4th perfectly poured beer as I auditioned for the Beer Olympics at Two Ducks Brewery. I mean, dude, you could get it. There's a lot of other fun stuff that went on in Cuba. I think I've hit most of the highlights. I love sharing these travels and adventures with you. I'm grateful that we were able to do that and help some people out momentarily. I know it's not a permanent solution. I'm not smart enough to get involved, nor do I care enough with the big issues. All I cared about was trying to make an impact. 150 pounds of food. I think we had a total of 50 bags, combining the food and the personal items. We bought 25 people's groceries, give or take 5 or 10, like while we were there. And we helped out the people that needed it the most. And we know it helped them out because it went directly to them. Homeless people that are washing bottles, the dude that was clearing off paint with his hands, the old lady that collapsed from exhaustion, the homeless dude looking through shit, trying to find something to eat, the newspaper seller who bikes around and sells the newspaper for money and barely makes enough to survive to feed himself. They all got a bag. I'm inspired by that. I want to keep going. I want to do this more. I'd love to do this multiple times a year. That's the big goal. The now goal is let's get these videos edited. Let's get them up. Let's get them out to help start spreading the news and sharing the word. And then plan for our next adventure, which might include moving to another country. Stay tuned, friends. Lots of intrigue ahead. Lots of intrigue ahead. I thank you so much for listening. Do me a favor. Subscribe, rate, review, leave a comment. Let me know someone is fucking out there in the world that listens to this thing and gives a shit about what we share. So I know that the time and energy put into this isn't wasted. Speaking of wasted, my batteries are about done. So I guess I'm done with you. Peace, love, and happiness. We'll see you at the next time.